Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a great event. I'm sure everyone here is happy to be part of it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about discipline, but discipline from the viewpoint of a child, which is very different. Now, the definition of the word discipline is, according to the new Oxford American Dictionary, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. What harsh words these are, very harsh words. Those are when used to talk about a child. A better sounding definition from Merriam-Webster is training to mold or correct moral character or behavior of someone. Discipline, and this is the point we're going to be discussing here, and punishment are not the same thing. You can begin disciplining your child as soon as he or she is mobile with positive reinforcement in a loving manner, without anger, without punishment. And this should be enough to start with. Now, I'm going to show you a short video from YouTube. This is a mother talking, and I'm sure no one here has ever said the words that this mother is saying. This is a very persistent mother. You will realize that none of you ever speaks to their child this way.
Get up now, get up out of bed. Wash your face, brush your teeth, comb and sleepy head. Here's your clothes and your shoes. Hear the words I said. Get up now. Get up and make your bed. Are you hot? Are you cold? Are you wearing that? Where's your books and your lunch and your homework? Get grab your coat and your gloves and your scarf and hat. Don't forget, you gotta feed the cat. Each breakfast, the experts tell us it's the most important meal of all. Take vitamins so you will grow up one day to be big and tall. Please remember the orthodontist will be seeing you at 3 today. Don't forget your piano lesson is this afternoon, so you must play. Don't shovel. Choose slowly, but hurry. The bus is here. Be careful. Come back here. Did you wash behind your ears? Play outside. Don't play rough. Would you just play fair? Be polite. Make a friend. Don't forget to share. Working out each turn. Never take a dead. Get along. Don't make me come down there. Clean your roof. Wash your clothes. Put your stuff away. Make your bed. Do it now. Do we have all day? Were you born in a barn? Would you like some hay? Can you even hear a word I say? Answer the phone. Get off the phone. Don't sit so close. Turn it down. No texting at the table. No more computer time tonight. Your iPod's my iPod. If you don't listen up, where you going in with whom and what time do you think you're coming home? Say thank you, please, excuse me, makes you welcome everywhere you roam. You'll appreciate my wisdom someday when you're older and you're grown. Can't wait till you have a couple little children of your own. You'll thank me for the counsel I gave you so willingly, but right now I'll thank you not to roll your eyes at me. Close your mouth when you chew, would appreciate. Take a bite, maybe two of the stuff you hate. Use your fork, do not burp, or I'll set you straight. Eat the food I put upon your plate. Get an egg at the door, don't start with me. Get a grip, get it here, I'll count to 3. Get a job, get a life, get a PhD, get a dose. I don't care who started it, you're grounded until you're 36. Get your story straight and tell the truth for once, for heaven's sake. And if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump too? If I said it once, I've said at least 1,000 times before that you're too old to act this way. It must be your father's DNA. Look at me when I am talking, stand up straighter when you walk a place. For everything and everything must be in place. Stop crying or I'll give you something real to cry about. Huh. Wash your face, brush your teeth, put PJs on, get in bed, give a hug, say a prayer with love. Don't forget, I love you. And tomorrow we will do this all again because I'm not never friends. You don't need the reason why. Because I said so, I said so, I said so, I said so. I'm the mom, the mom, the mom, the mom, the mom.
Well, from the happy smiles on your faces, I see that this is a very strange mother, and no one here has ever said anything of the sort to their children. Am I right? This mother covers from sharing and saying please and thank you to very young children to going up to older No texting at the table. Your iPod's my iPod. You're grounded. I'm afraid this is how we all sound at one point or another. So just be careful. This is how maybe our children see us. So now, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see from the eyes of a child what discipline should be. This is what our youngsters would say, and this is the point of our presentation. Let's see what our youngsters would say to us if they could put their feelings into words. Here are some pieces of advice given by a would-be child. The words almost beg to be heard, and there's a lot of resounding truth behind them. These are extracts taken from A Child's Viewpoint of Discipline, author unknown. Here's our first child speaking. Don't tax my honesty too much. I am easily frightened into telling lies. Lies are a big problem. Confrontations are scary. Direct angry accusations must be a no-no. Because these lead to a negative reaction, usually denial, which you interpret as a lie. It's usually not really a lie. Another truth, don't tell me my fears are silly. They are terribly real to me, and you can do much to reassure me if you try to understand. Yes, fear to a child is something solid. Even if it is unaccounted for and not age appropriate. You can have fear of the dark, fear of the water in a pool, fear of crowded, unfamiliar places, fear of a certain object in the house, fear of those big moving character puppets. The list can go on and on, but just give it time. Don't be judgmental just because your friends' kids don't seem to be afraid of anything. Please respect your child's fear and realize that this is something you can help him to eventually overcome. Another advice from a would-be child is about being consistent. Don't be inconsistent. That completely confuses me and makes me lose faith in you. Your child needs to know he can rely on you all of the time, not part of the time. That's why you need to be predictable with your actions and your yeses and your nos. How can your child trust you if he feels you might allow him to do something one time and then allow him to do it another time? Your answer might be that you're sometimes too tired to start an argument, but that is harmful to your child. He will draw on that weakness and use it. And that causes him a lot of emotional harm. It's all right to break your own rules occasionally, but you need to explain that this is a treat or a reward. This one here is about making promises. Don't make rash promises, the child is saying. Remember that I feel badly let down when promises are broken. So, any promise from a parent is written in capital letters in a child's mind, especially promises. So, we need to tread very carefully here. Children experience exaggerated emotions, always. A scraped knee would bring about feelings of extreme misery, and a promise of any kind would bring on feelings of extreme happiness. The scraped knee will get better with a pat and a kiss, but a broken promise will not. Your child's trust in you is at stake here. False threats can cause the same feelings of confusion. Spare your child these doubts about you. No rash promises and no false threats. Another piece of advice. Don't be afraid to be firm with me. I prefer it. It makes me feel more secure. Yes, being firm makes your child more secure. Being firm is like building a fence of security around him. Everyone needs guidelines and rules to be reassured that once they are inside these boundaries, they are sheltered and protected. Outside your wall of firm, sensible rules is a world of confusion for your child. It goes without saying that in order to be firm, you also need to put in that magic ingredient, love. Now here's one about scolding. Don't always scold me when I do something wrong. If you sometimes give me a bit of freedom, this will help me to behave appropriately. Imagine at work and your boss. If your boss gave you constant comments and directions all the time, you wouldn't be able to work properly. Your child has a lot to learn from you, and you may need he may need a lot of telling off. But too much of it will bring down his self-esteem. By sometimes ignoring mistakes, as opposed to pointing them out and scolding every time, this will be more of a reminder for him to behave in a better way. You would be giving him the freedom to choose. As you see, too much criticism will belittle self-esteem, which we're trying to build. Another piece of advice, don't protect me from consequences. I need to learn the painful way sometimes. Nothing wrong with learning the hard way. A positive disciplinary punishment can go a long way to make your child remember to think about consequences of actions. Toys can be hidden away for a while because they were left around the room. An outing can be denied for a reason. So, keep your word. Make him learn that actions have reactions that are sometimes unpleasant. If you give in because he's promising not to do it again, and he's whining and giving you a headache, the lesson will not be learned. So just don't give in. Unfinished homework, teacher will see to that. No sharing, not allowed to play with others' toys. Broken toy, don't replace. Hot tea, no harm in getting him near your cup. Let him figure it out for himself. Don't spoil me. I know quite well that I ought not have all I ask for. I'm only testing you. Now, we all know how true this is. A child, a baby, is always testing you. Even a young baby learns to cry if he knows the reward will be being picked up and held. An older child will whine until you give in because he knows you will give in. He's pushing your buttons, and that's not good for him or for you. Once you put your foot down and make clear that the answer will always be no to this request, it will be the end of the feud between you, and you will have a better behaved child. Questions. Now, the never-ending questions. Don't put me off when I ask questions. If you do, you will find that I stop asking and seek my information elsewhere. Yes, these questions drain you, I know. But you need to be your child's source of information, especially as they get older and the questions get more complicated. Why don't you try to answer with another question? Like, I'm not sure, why do you think? Or set a task. Let's look it up and find out. And if you really can't answer at the time, agree to postpone the conversation to a later time. But remember to bring it up yourself. Or just answer the question. Now, I have a quote here that I found from your Child Expo's page on Facebook, which really impressed me. It reads, "The little seeds you plant in your child today shape how he or she is tomorrow. So never underestimate the little talks between you two. Encourage your child to speak up and take their questions very seriously." Here's the last piece of advice from the child. Don't correct me in front of others if you can help it. I'll take much more notice if you talk quietly with me in private. Yes, and this is really important. A child's self-esteem must be made very precious to him. Mutual respect and respect of self is what we seek. To be rectified in front of others will shrink self-confidence, and so your child will get used to being exposed in front of others. This belittling can become a habit he gets used to and would make it okay to make more mistakes in front of anyone. Hence, goodbye to pride and self-esteem. Now, to conclude all this is advice now from me, is to hold on to your child for as long as you can. Give your child the time he deserves. Build his self-esteem and his confidence. Be a good role model, an effective parent. And remember, especially when you feel stressed out by your children, they are only yours for a very short time while they need you. Soon, they will grow up and become independent and leave the nest. And you will be the one seeking their attention. It will happen sooner than you think. Bond with them now. Hold on to them for as long as you can. And hopefully, when they are older, they will know how to repay your love and attention because your family, because you will have helped them to form a lifelong family relationship. And this is all I have to say on discipline from the child's viewpoint of discipline. I thank you very much for your time and hope to see you soon. If you need to have a handout of the previous presentation, here are my contact numbers, my number and my email. But now, since I have a little time, I think, on my hands, I would like to share with you a short presentation of Rise and Shine Kindercare. Rise and Shine Kindercare is a preschool child station situated in Heliopolis and New Cairo. These are the New Cairo premises. And it is full of activities. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure being here. Please come and visit our Rise and Shine Kindercare booth. Thank you.